Just a few days ago, the rock world was blindsided by heartbreaking news. Limp Bizkit's founding bassist, Sam Rivers, has passed away at just 48 years old. For millions of fans who grew up on his unmistakable bass lines, the news hit like a shockwave. Sam wasn't just another member of the band. He was its steady heartbeat, the calm beneath the chaos, the groove that gave Limp Bizkit its unmistakable edge. At first, details were scarce. No one knew what had happened, and speculation began to swirl across social media. Then, new information began to emerge. The kind that paints a clearer, yet deeply emotional picture of what really went on during his final days. Tonight, we're breaking down everything we know, from the rise of a quiet genius who helped shape one of the most explosive sounds of the late 90s, to the personal struggles that nearly ended his career years before his death, and finally, the circumstances that led to this devastating loss. Because behind every rock legend's story of fame and success, there's often a battle no one sees, and Sam Rivers' story is no exception. But before we talk about the tragedy that shocked fans worldwide, let's go back to where it all began, long before the fame, the chaos, and the massive stadium crowds. Long before the fame, Sam Rivers was just a kid from Jacksonville, Florida, obsessed with sound. Music was in his DNA. His father was a professional musician, and Sam naturally gravitated toward the bass, drawn to the way it anchored everything around it. In the early 90s, fate stepped in when he met a young, outspoken tattoo artist named Fred Durst. The two instantly clicked over their shared love of heavy riffs and hip-hop rhythms, and before long, they began experimenting with a sound that didn't quite fit anywhere. It was too aggressive for rap, too funky for metal, and too raw for pop. That strange blend would eventually become Limp Bizkit. Sam's cousin, drummer John Otto, soon joined the mix, and together they built something that would redefine the sound of an entire generation. As the band exploded onto the scene with albums like $3 Bill, Y'all, and Significant Other, Sam's bass became the unspoken hero of their music. While Durst grabbed headlines for his antics and Wes Borland drew attention for his surreal stage costumes, it was Sam who quietly held everything together. His tone, deep, fluid, and almost hypnotic, gave songs like Nookie and Break Stuff their pulse. You could feel his playing in your chest. He didn't just play bass, he communicated through it, channeling anger, confidence, and melancholy in every note. Critics often overlooked him, but within the band, there was no doubt. Sam was the glue that made Limp Bizkit's chaotic sound work. By the late 90s, Limp Bizkit had gone from playing dingy clubs in Florida to headlining arenas worldwide. Their albums sold millions. Their music videos dominated MTV, and their energy defined an era of late 90s rebellion. But while fans saw the wild success and non-stop chaos, few realized the quiet discipline and musical brilliance behind Sam Rivers, the man who gave Limp Bizkit its heartbeat. Yet even at the height of his success, something darker was beginning to take root behind the scenes, a silent struggle that would soon threaten everything Sam had built. At the height of Limp Bizkit's fame, when the band seemed unstoppable, Sam Rivers was silently fighting a battle that few outside his circle knew about. Years of non-stop touring, late nights, and heavy partying began to take their toll. Behind the scenes, Sam was struggling with serious health problems that stemmed from what he would later describe as hard living. By 2015, the situation had become impossible to ignore. He shocked fans when he suddenly stepped away from the band, revealing that he'd been diagnosed with severe liver disease. In his own words, he admitted that his lifestyle had finally caught up with him, and if he didn't make a change, it could cost him everything. For someone whose identity was built around performing, the decision to leave Limp Bizkit wasn't just about health, it was heartbreaking. Sam had spent decades building that band from the ground up, pouring his soul into every performance. Now, he found himself in and out of hospitals, undergoing treatments, and facing the terrifying reality that his time might be limited. Yet, through it all, he stayed hopeful. Friends close to him say he never lost his sense of humor or his calm presence, even when things got tough. After years of recovery and what many believe was a liver transplant, Sam made a quiet but powerful comeback in 2018. Limp Bizkit's return to the stage felt different, older, wiser, and strangely peaceful. Sam looked healthier, and fans were thrilled to see him back in his element, locked in with drummer John Otto and driving that unmistakable groove once again. It was a redemption story, the kind rock rarely sees anymore. But as it turns out, that comeback would also mark the beginning of his final chapter, because just as everything seemed to be back on track, tragedy struck once more. On October 18, 2025, emergency responders in St. Johns County, Florida, were dispatched to a call for a non-responsive person in cardiac arrest. That person was Sam Rivers. When news broke the following day that the Limp Bizkit bassist had passed away at just 48, the rock world froze in disbelief. For a while, no one knew exactly what had happened, only that it was sudden and devastating. But new details soon emerged that painted a more complicated picture. According to local authorities, deputies had responded to what was described as an attended death, a term used when someone passes away while under medical care for a serious or life-threatening illness. That small detail hinted at something deeper, suggesting that Sam had had been quietly receiving in-home medical treatment in the days or weeks leading up to his death. While no official cause of a death has been confirmed, many fans couldn't help but connect the dots. Sam had battled severe liver disease for years and had undergone what was believed to be a liver transplant. Even after his return to the stage, his health likely remained fragile. Those who saw him perform in recent months noticed he appeared thinner, but still carried that same calm energy he always had. His final days, by all accounts, were spent at home, surrounded by family, medical staff, and the music that defined his life. The band confirmed his passing in a heartfelt statement that read, "Today, we lost our brother, our bandmate, our heartbeat." They described Sam as pure magic, the calm and the chaos, the soul and the sound. Within hours, social media flooded with tributes from fellow musicians, producers, and fans across the world, each remembering him not just as a rock legend, but as a gentle, humble man who never craved the spotlight. And while the pain of his loss is still raw, what's perhaps most powerful is how the people who knew him best, his bandmates, friends, and fans, have chosen to remember him. In the days following Sam Rivers' passing, the outpouring of love was overwhelming. Fred Durst shared an emotional tribute, recalling the first time he saw Sam perform and instantly knew he was witnessing something special. He called him a once-in-a-lifetime kind of human, pure magic. Fans echoed that sentiment, flooding social media with clips of Sam's performances, sharing how his bass lines shaped their teenage years and defined the sound of an era. Other artists in the rock world praised his subtle brilliance, how he could command an entire crowd without saying a word. Even during Limp Bizkit's most chaotic moments, Sam remained grounded, his steady rhythm holding everything together. His legacy isn't just in the hits, but in the feeling he created, that unmistakable pulse that made millions move. And while his story ends far too soon, what he left behind continues to resonate in every note, every stage, and every fan who still feels that rhythm. Sam Rivers' journey is more than just the story of a rock star. It's a reminder of how fragile success can be, and how even the strongest artists fight battles we never see. Behind the fame, the sold-out tours, and the roaring crowds was a man who carried both brilliance and pain in equal measure. His fight with illness, his recovery, and his return to the stage showed the kind of quiet strength that defines true resilience. For fans, Sam's passing is a moment to reflect on the real cost of a life lived in the spotlight, the toll of endless pressure, constant travel, and the pursuit of perfection. Yet his legacy goes far beyond tragedy. He turned pain into art, struggle into sound, and left behind music that still moves people decades later. So when we listen to songs like Rearranged or My Way, we're not just hearing bass lines. We're hearing Sam's story, his emotion, and his soul. And even though he's gone, that sound, that heartbeat will never fade. Because for every artist who leaves too soon, there's a legacy that keeps playing. And Sam Rivers' groove is one the world will never forget. Even after his passing, Sam Rivers' presence can still be felt everywhere. In every stage he once played, every fan who still cranks up those old records, and every musician inspired by his effortless groove. His influence reached far beyond Limp Bizkit. He helped shape a generation of bass players who learned that rhythm wasn't just background, it was emotion, attitude, and soul. What made Sam special wasn't just his skill, but his humility. He never needed the spotlight, never fought for attention. He just played, and that was enough to make people feel something real. That quiet power is what separates legends from performers. His bandmates have said it best. Sam wasn't just our bass player, he was our heartbeat. Even though he's gone, his work continues to echo through time. Every riff, every thump of that bass carries a piece of who he was. And as fans revisit his music now, there's a new weight to every note, a reminder that great art never dies, it just changes form. And as we close this chapter, one thing is certain. Sam Rivers' rhythm may have stopped, but his music will keep playing for generations to come. Sam Rivers' passing marks the end of an era, not just for Limp Bizkit, but for rock itself. He was one of those rare artists who didn't need words to make an impact. His music spoke for him. Every bass line told a story of energy, struggle, and raw emotion. And now, as fans around the world revisit those classic tracks, there's a deeper appreciation for what he brought to the stage. A soul that kept the band grounded even through chaos. What makes his loss so painful is that Sam seemed to have found peace in recent years, reconnecting with his band, rebuilding his health, and rediscovering his love for performing. His journey, though cut short, is a reminder that even when life feels uncertain, passion can keep you going. So as we say goodbye, let's remember Sam Rivers not for how his story ended, but for the rhythm he left behind. A rhythm that continues to move people, even now. Because legends don't truly die, they just keep playing on repeat in the hearts of those who listen. If you grew up with Limp Bizkit or just discovered their music, drop your favorite Sam Rivers moment in the comments below, and let's keep his memory alive one groove at a time. If Sam Rivers' story moved you, don't let it fade here. Go back and listen to those classic Limp Bizkit tracks, Rearranged, Nookie My Way, and really focus on that bass. That's Sam. That's his voice. Share this video with other fans who grew up on his music, and let's keep celebrating the artists who shaped shaped an entire generation of sound. Drop a comment below with your favorite Sam Rivers moment or song, and tell us what his music means to you. The more we share his story, the louder his legacy becomes. Because while Sam Rivers may be gone, his rhythm, that heartbeat of Limp Bizkit, will keep playing as long as we keep listening.